Okay, hello guys. I'm kind of recording this video pretty quickly after watching Mr. Ramsey Dewey talking about whether dancing is going to help to improve the footwork, or learning to dance is going to improve his footwork. And I do apologize if it doesn't work too well. I'm not really a professional video recorder and it's not in my job description. But I'm kind of having to disagree with Mr. Dewey on this huge aspect, and unfortunately trying to write a comment is going to be too long, and there will still be some idiot who's going to say, hey, you have to show us how it's done and things like this. So I disagree with Mr. Ramsey's opinion, Mr. Dewey's opinion on the fact that dancing is kind of just a good thing to learn, but it's not really going to help you develop your footwork. And I do this on simple premise. The stuff that kind of dance that Mr. Dewey talks about seems to be very limited. So he has learned some modern dance, but he doesn't strike me as somebody who does a lot of dancing. So for a fat guy like me to, do things like that, get him into talking with other people and getting things like this, sometimes it's a good idea to go and do some dancing, learn some dancing. So, does dancing help you improve your footwork? And the answer is yes. And why do I say that? Well, number one, even if you don't do the kind of dancing which specifically influences how well your footwork might work in a fight, one thing it does, it helps you to understand how your body works. So I'm gonna do some shit which gonna make me look stupid, but fuck it. Sorry. So now let's take a look. For example, there's like an old move which was something like this. Right, try doing this. Try doing this, like simply doing something like this. It's the same as when you do skipping rope and you start doing one, it's the same stuff. It's basically improving your small motor skills, right? So whether you're doing modern dance, whether like Mr. Dewey has pointed out, doing a ballet, it improves your motor skills. So, is this the only thing? Well, no. There's one other thing that I've noticed Mr. Dewey speaks about is either modern dance, like really well practiced ballroom dance, so it's like something people do in the competitions, and ballet. I mean, is this the only type of dance you do? Okay, we might say that the stuff which I call, the stuff people dance in most of the modern nightclubs, which is the stuff I generally call a public masturbation session. I don't know. It just might not. But one thing Mr. Dewey has mentioned is, for example, cha-cha-cha. So, can cha-cha-cha help you improve your boxing or kickboxing or anything where you have to move on your feet? Well, one of the things you tend to do when you're doing boxing, kickboxing, anything like this is turns. Right? You do this, right? Somebody comes at you and you do this, right? Let me do the basic cha-cha-cha move. Now, 1, 2, 3, cha-cha-cha. 1, 2, 3, cha-cha-cha. 1, 2, 3, cha-cha-cha. Right, here's your 1, 2, 3. Boxing stance, here's your turn. Now, I was watching a video, which I probably should have looked this guy up, on YouTube. He's stopped posting videos like a few years ago. It's something Cook, don't remember his first name. I will put it later in the comments for this video. But he was talking about moving and turning in the true boxer stance, right? This stance, and one of the mistakes he was still talking about people doing is turning from their shoulders. Well, one thing you do when you learn to dance, something like cha-cha-cha, waltz, anything like ballroom connected, you learn to turn from your center. You learn not to just throw yourself into a turn. Right? Very basic. Something that improves your footwork, something that improves your balance, something that makes you move more confidently. Right? Just a simple example. But what else does it do? Well, it improves your motor skills, it improves your balance, but it extends some of your movements. And I'm going to use as an example, for example, like again, I'll do some more turning as well. But I'm going to do salsa, right? 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, right? So, how does it help me? How does it make me conserve energy? How does it extend my motion range? Very simple. Right, so quite often when you see boxers move, they move from the back leg forward. And then if they step backwards, this one, right? So this, everybody will say, yep, that's okay, I come in, here's I'm doing this. Here's a little idea for you, right? Let's slightly simplify salsa step. You're standing in your boxer stance. Right? Now you need to move backwards. He's coming at you, right? You don't need to be like super fast or not fast. You just have to balance that distance, right? So you need to move forward to him if he goes away, and you need to move backwards if he's coming at you. Just to manage that distance, you need to conserve energy. You need to keep on trying moving reasonably. Right? So, here's your motion. Right? So from here, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3. Right? Here's your motion. Simplified salsa motion. This motion is used in many other Latin dances. Right? Simple, like if you move around, like I said, turning. Here's how you can practice your turning with your girlfriend. She will not even know that you're practicing boxing with her. Right? So you're doing your salsa shit at home. Right? Because all girls love the guy who takes them out to dance. I know that's how I learned. Right, so you're saying to your girlfriend, hey, I want to practice some dancing so we can go to a salsa place or just, make you look good, right? Here's your boxing training. You're dancing with her, right? Her arms in your arms. So, you let go of your left arm and you do this. And then you come back. You let go of your right arm and you do this. And then you come back. So, people will say, how does it have to do anything with boxing? Same idea as cha-cha-cha. Your boxing stance. You turn. You come back. You turn. You come back. You don't throw yourself in that by, You're doing it by keeping your center, by keeping your balance. By being careful about things you do while nobody is trying to punch it in your fucking head. So that you still have some brains left to think, right? And let's be honest, right? Most of the people who do boxing, most of the people who do kickboxing or any other striking martial art, they spend, from my perspective, from what I've seen, is they spend good 90% of their time doing anything but being hit in the head. They skip ropes, they punch bags, they do foul training, they do whatever trainings. They learn their strikes in the shadow boxing, and then, like for 10 minutes or so, they go in the ring and they spar with someone just to get used to the point of being strong. That's what you do with dancing. But can dancing help you with anything else? I mean, Mr. Dewey seems to be completely oblivious to that point. Is what about if you go out, you go to a Latin club, salsa, bachata, kizomba, my personal favorite, less known for hall. Can they help you to improve your stand-up fighting and actually footwork? Well, there is a situation in every fight where you go into a clinch, really, really close to each other, and you do not predict how the other person can move. And you need to learn to feel how the other person is responding to your actions in this really close environment, which is called fighting. But you will not spend all your time in the ring being punched in the head trying to understand the physics of people's body motions. No, you won't. I mean, unless you're a complete idiot, but I hope that 99.9% of the people also slightly stupid, but not really complete retards, And we don't want to get punched in the head all the time by learning some of the more core basic skills while learning them. So what do? Well, kizomba, bachata, forró, even some salsa are danced with a partner at a very close range. Especially forró and bachata. Now, these are two things that you are really on top of each other. Right? And unless you're dancing with people who have learned a certain skill set, the certain steps, and don't go beyond them, and you have learned the same steps, so you don't have to feel how they react to know how they will react. If you went into a nightclub, you have learned some basic bachata, you have learned some basic salsa, you have bought some of this, and you come in with people and you start trying to dance with them. Their ability to feel how that your partner reacts to the things you do on a close range is something which you develop quite well. Right? So it's not about being able to fly, it's about able to feel the motion of another person. The person which is in your hands. Right? Your girlfriend. Put on some salsa music. Right? And say, well, I'm not very good, but I'll try. Right? See how happy she will be. I mean, if you're a girl that's listening to this, watching this video, and your boy doesn't like to dance, well, tough fucking luck. Sorry, I just can't help you with that. You have to persuade him. Maybe get him to watch this video and he's gonna go like, okay, cool, I like martial arts, I want to get better without getting hit in the head. So I still have some brains left when I have to go back to work and think about how do I get that job progression that I was dreaming about. But again, it's about understanding how the person reacts to you, right? How they go with the flow, how they go with the motion. If I'm turning here, what will they do? Sure, if you are in a real fight, it will be slightly different, but the basics are still the same. An ability to understand and feel how the person is moving with you. And adjust your footwork accordingly. Right? I mean, if you're in a dance situation, open dance floor, and the person does something else, you have to move. Right? For example, we're doing this move, right? The one we showed. But then the girl decides to turn. Right? If you just stay here and leave your hand here, and she decides to continue turning, guess what? It's going to be a mess. So you start learning to react. You start, okay, I got to let her through. But if you just stand here and just look silly, so you're going to have to let her through and maybe turn to react to what she did. Right? I didn't know what she's going to do. No idea. But you reacted and you didn't have anybody punch you in the face. Okay, you're not a ballerina or anything else which Mr. Dewey mentioned. But this is the things you do while learning to dance. Right? Again, improve your motor skills, different range of motions, understanding how your partner might walk with you. And I'm sure people who do more mix of martial arts than just free dancing, they will probably tell you a few more things like losing weight, which I need to do. Sorry, guys. So, Mr. Dewey is outright wrong. And, well, this video is the reasons why. Thank you very much. Take care. Bye.